Well, the Bible speaks of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I believe just because somebody is sane or they have a mental illness, I believe the death penalty ought to be applied fairly. Now if somebody can be adjudicated as being insane, it ought to be a different story. But as far as death penalty, I believe whether you're mentally ill or you're not, I believe it ought to be applied. Yeah.
Do you think that the death penalty just encourages or spreads this idea of death?
No, I do not.
You don't think so?
No.
You think that the death penalty is just?
I'm not saying it's just, but I am saying that in order to have a society that adheres to certain behavior and can function, we need to have certain penalties in place for behavior. Otherwise, we could very easily follow the Romans, and have the rise and the downfall of America. And I'm very concerned right now about America because of the situation we're in. So I side in favor of the death penalty. Yeah.
Will the death penalty actually help reduce murders? Is it a deterrent?
I believe it is a deterrent. It's an effective deterrent. Yes. I believe somebody that commits a crime, a murderous crime, should be able to face the consequences. Yes.
I mean, as far as crimes go, it should only be reserved for the worst of crimes, obviously. And whether it's good or bad, I do think it is good. So.
Do you think it actually exists as a deterrent, actually keeps some people from murdering someone else because they know they may actually be executed for it?
I think it does. Fear is useful for keeping people from doing, basically almost like controlling people. So I do think it is used as a deterrent.
Okay.
I think the state does have the right to put someone to death based on the laws that are put in place for the death penalty. Like there should be requirements met. It shouldn't be just something handed out like candy.
Well, I know biblically it's not right, but I think that it would be bad if we didn't have it, because then there really wouldn't be any reason for people to not commit bad crimes, because all they'd have to do is sit in jail and get to eat and sleep somewhere nice for free.
Do you think that the death penalty really keeps people, or some people, from murdering someone else because they know that if they kill somebody, maybe they'll be executed? So do you think it's a real deterrent for some people?
I think maybe subconsciously it is. Probably for some people. But
as far as in my life, I've seen that kind of broken down just by the friends that I've made, like Carlos over here, who's walking away, and other friends that I kind of made, and just commonalities, that we've been able to talk to each other and relate. But I mean, it definitely still exists. I mean, not just between black and white, but other races, Asian and things like that, even like homosexuals and stuff like that. People are like, I don't think we did that.
Have you seen a lot of examples of racism? Have you witnessed it firsthand?
Not really. We don't really experience that. I don't.
But you still feel that it's a problem, though?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I would definitely say it's gotten better. Though I do see it, with like the current Obama election, a lot of racism came out because he's our first colored president. And I think the South has come not as far as Northerns in accepting, other races. But I think as we become more diverse and more populated, and minorities become more and more in America, I think it's getting better. I really do. Especially compared to what it used to be.
Right, I agree. Now, have you seen or witnessed anyone being discriminated against or any racism personally? Have you ever seen that happen?
Actually, a lot. Way too many to care for.
Is that right? Okay.
it's gotten better from how it used to be.
Yeah. Have you witnessed any racism?
No, I personally haven't witnessed any.
Okay.
But I've heard, some.
So you've heard friends of yours talk about race?
Not really. I mean, just heard from like people, you know, that they've experienced some kind of racial activity or something of that.
But in your daily life, though, you haven't,
No, I have
haven't
not.
seen. Okay,
No, I have not.
I see. But you think it's gotten better since decades ago? You
Yes.
think the condition, overall condition, has improved?
Yes, to how it used to be, yes, a lot more.
Do you think it'll start getting better in the future too?
Hopefully. I mean, I'm Mexican American, and for now there's actually a lot going on with the, you know, Mexican, illegal Mexican. I mean, you know, just stuff like that.
The education system in the U.S. definitely needs reforms, and the reforms are needed from top to bottom, from the formation of things like No Child Left Behind, all the way down to number of students in the classroom, and different federal programs that apply to them. So it's a top, all the way down need for reform. First, the amount of paperwork that teachers have to deal with is absurd. Tracking students, especially with No Child, it's ridiculous. And things as easy as making sure that teachers are teaching in the classroom. It's hard because principals have so many other things to do with discipline. But making sure that the teachers are teaching and coaches coach instead of being teachers, because coaches usually make terrible teachers. Getting more involved with the parents somehow, because parents, that's the main thing between success in schools and activity of the parents is one of the main reasons why a school succeeds, is because the parents get involved. Parents don't get involved, the school suffers, the teachers suffer, everything else suffers. Standardization is another thing that is killing the American public system, because we're teaching the test. Teachers want to teach the test so they can keep their jobs. Some even cheat on these standardized tests so they will maintain their positions. So wiping that away and finding a better way to assess, maybe with portfolios instead of just doing a simple test. Not every student is a good test taker, so doing something like portfolios, which takes more time to grade, would be a good idea. The kids don't just come to school, the kids come to school many times taking what they get from home. Whatever they learn from home, whatever they see at the house, whatever they see on television that their parents let them see, they take that and go to school with it. If there's no parental guidance at home, they think there's no parental guidance at school, and they can do the same thing they do at home. Well, it's then telling parents, you have to raise your child in this manner, and many parents don't want to do that. So it's a catch-22.
I mean, I know teachers deserve way more money. I was that student that probably proved that they need more money because I caused them so much trouble. But I don't know, man. Smaller class sizes in high school. I mean, I had 35 kids in my class. It's really hard for a teacher to handle 35 kids. So I think maybe increase their pay, shorten their classrooms so they can do their jobs, stop making their jobs so hard. And then, you know, the reason why, you know, obviously the funds aren't there, but if you were to shorten up the classrooms, they have more time to spend one-on-one, and the probably dropout rate would go down because grades would probably go up because kids would actually want to learn instead of being lost in a crowd. One thing that'd be really cool is if the ACT didn't define how you got into school, because I know myself, I had like a 3.8 in high school, and I could not do well in the ACT because I can't take tests very well. You know, one of my friends made a 28, and he had a C average in high school, if that. And so I think there needs to be something done there. Maybe not just base your ACT off that. One last thing would be the FAFSA. I think that something's got to be done about at least lowering the bar a little bit to bring other students in. I think there needs to be requirements other than how much money your parents make. I think they need to take into account a student's potential to do well in school, because I see a lot of people, they get the financial aid, drop out and go buy stuff, put stuff on a car, go get clothes, and they waste the money where people like me can't get it just because my parents make a little too much. And so I think that they need to look at the kids, the students' potential to go to college that way. So that'd be some of the things that I would change. How that happens, I don't know, but something I would do.
As far as behavioral problems, what do you think is the thing that should be done in terms of trying to get kids disciplined in class?
How should kids be disciplined in class?
Even if you had a small class, if you have behavioral problems with some of the students, what's the best way to handle that?
Probably more emphasis on counseling. I know a lot of times it's the overflow of their home life, behavior problems, and so probably more intentional counseling other than just writing them up and sitting in the office and giving them ISS. It's what they expect anyways. Half the time it's what they want. They don't want to be in the classroom, and they don't have anybody to talk to. So I would just say place more emphasis on school counseling in that area. I think the parents play a big role as far as attendance in school and making sure K through 12 you were asking about, making sure their kids they're involved in their kids' homework life. I know after a certain grade, obviously sometimes the parents haven't had these subjects in a while and they can't help in that area. But just like my high school came up with this plan that parents can log in and see okay, this is what my son or daughter made today in this class, and then they can get involved that way and really push them to do well in school. So just instead of sending a little letter home, just have more student-teacher kind of conferences as a general, like a large sum of people, not just a one-on-one kind of thing, and just really raise awareness that the teachers can do so much in the classroom, but at home is where it really is going to pay off if they're staying on their studies and their parents are pushing them on their studies. So I guess that way, but not all parents care.
Right.
Can't make parents care. But I think that you got to try, and that's doing your part as an educational system.
I would say a better relationship with the parents. I do understand the teachers must teach the students, but I think there need to be a coordinated efforts with the parents of how the students is progressing or not progressing. Need to be more consistent in what it is. I think a lot of times we do things because of protocol, but I think passion needs to be more involved. I think that's one of the problems.
In terms of grades or behavioral problems?
On both sides. And the parents, of course, need to be more involved. So, like I said, the teachers need to teach, but the parents need to do their job to make sure that they're doing their part at home.
Well, it's interesting that the first thing you mentioned is the parents. So do you think that the parents should have more responsibility to get their children to work hard?
Exactly.
And not all the burden should be placed on the teachers, maybe?
Exactly.
Okay.
I think this generation with the technology we have, the Facebook, and there's so much stuff is out there, commercials are showing that this is what you got to have to be successful. Many parents are working harder, which is nothing wrong with working harder. But if I have this car, this house, it shows that I'm successful. But our kids are falling by the wayside, overtime, whatever it may be. Parents are now on Facebook more than children sometimes. So it's just different things that are taking parents and teaching away from the child. I do believe I believe the foundation needs to be at home, whether private or public. At the end of the day, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure that their children are engaged, not only at school, but at home. That's just my opinion.
Okay, it's going. Oh! I wonder if it's still recording.
Wait, bring that over here so you can see.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, I'll stop.